Hey, family. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is doing well out there. Today's my birthday, and so I want to do like the Nasareans do, and I want to give gifts away. And so my gift to you today is kind of like a small, sweet breakdown of what happened after the crucifixion. Okay, and so I've been playing around with some AI art, and I got some nice pictures to show you. And this is kind of what it would have looked like, I would say, 4 days after the crucifixion, because Yahshua had prophesied about what was going to happen when he was taken off the cross. And just to sum it up, he wasn't all the way dead on the cross. It says he had put himself into a coma, and then when they took him down off the cross, the green wizards of the white rose were instructed to minister to his body with these healing ointments and to keep the smallest tissues. It says, it's a special kind of medical language. It says in here, I think, let me see, in verse 54, he says, the language was understood by Nazarene healers, for they had an understanding of the body and its smallest parts that was far beyond the worldly medicine of these days. And so the green wizards were able to help Yeshua's body stay alive for 3 days while his soul went down and cleansed the vortex. And so I'd like to read it to you like it says it in the book really quick, and then we're going to get going. This is at verse 50 of chapter 98, the Holy Godspell. That is on page 1004. It says, meanwhile, the green wizard to the white rose ministered to the body of Yahshua per his previous instructions. Recall these words of his prophecy. My link to this incarnation is preserved. For 3 days I cleanse the vortex where souls go after human death. Then the green wizards help me back into the living cells that remain in some living tissues of my body. Okay, and because his body remained, I'm skipping down to verse 56 now. Because his body remained slightly alive, he was able to return to it after those 3 days of cleansing that vortex. In the mainstream Bible, it says he went to hell and set the captives free. Well, this is how he did it. That's why I love the Megillah. It's got the details, right? So after those 3 days, the green wizards, with the assistance of the large group of green wizards of the White Rose, he was able to open his eyes and briefly speak. And Yahshua said, behold, my subtle body and my soul will now exit my physical body. I will appear to various disciples and give them certain instructions. The body of my resurrection will appear physical, but is actually etheric. This etheric body will last only for 4 days. Some of you have already been given your instructions and have already been named apostles. Wherefore do not feel neglected if I do not appear to you who have already been given instructions. Know this, though I now return my physical body to Mother Earth as willing compost, please leave my body beneath a tree in the wilderness. My soul will ascend to the heavens and will greet each of you when the time has come. Peace be with you. Love in always in love. So pretty interesting, huh? We know now that it wasn't a dead body that he had walked around and animated and took back to heaven with him. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? All right, it keeps on going, and it says that there were a number of Nazareans killed in the immediate aftermath of the crucifixion. Amongst them was my mother, and so this is Sarah talking, the authorized scribe. She says, my mother Migdanah, she was martyred along with Yehuda the Strong. The account of that martyrdom was given to me by Yahshua at the time of his post-cruci. post-crucifixion visit to me. Behold, I knew that my mother was missing, for she and Yehuda had not showed up at the agreed-upon meeting location after the crucifixion. On the first of the 4 days that Yahshua appeared in his resurrection body, an etheric body that looked like his physical body, to various disciples and gave them instructions, he appeared to me. And the following is an account of that visitation. All right, so that's what we're going to read now, chapter 99. And today is the 9th, and it's my birthday, so you know how I like to synchronize things. So let's get it going now. We're on page 1006, verse 1. I, Sarah Jalil, at this time I was only known as Sarah, but soon would be giving the initiatic name Jalil. I was sitting in meditation beneath a fig tree. Yahshua appeared to me in a body that looked physical, and I felt called to embrace him. But he said, "This body looks physical, but it is etheric. You cannot hug me physically, but may do so spiritually." I did exactly that. Then he said, "Sarah, I bring you apparent bad news. However, it will end on a positive note. Your mother, along with Yehuda, was martyred the night of my crucifixion. Yehuda made it to a lion of Zion's safe house with 4 arrows in him. He gave the lions in charge the staff of Judah, the staff that was given to him by Nebiah, and the last scroll of Migdanah, which is her account of my crucifixion. They were martyred in the following manner. Not only were the Aaronite religious authorities and the Romans involved in my crucifixion, behind the scenes pulling the puppet strings was the priesthood of the serpent. Later in the night after my crucifixion, while Migdanah and Yehuda headed towards the meeting place where they were to meet you, behold, they were attacked by a large mob of men that had been paid money to attack Migdanah and take the scrolls from her. These men had been hired by the priesthood of the serpent, and many members of that priesthood were amongst the mob. About 24 others, trained archers, were hidden along the trail, hidden in bushes and up in trees. Although Migdanah was only carrying her last scroll, which was her account of the last several days, for security reasons, she never kept many completed portions with her. The serpent priesthood did not know that, and they hoped to grab and destroy her entire new edition of the Holy Megillah. They had previously learned from Judas that Migdanah was the authorized scribe amongst my companions, and one of their spies recognized her amongst the crowd at the crucifixion and left to set the trap. Although she was dressed as a common peasant, they noticed that she took notes, and that seemed odd, so the spy studied her face and recognized her. He immediately left and put this trap into place. We're at verse 18. The priesthood of the serpent was present in great force near the area of the crucifixion, for they realized that this sort of opportunity might present itself. As the mob attacked Migdanah, Yehuda defended her with the staff of Judah. He disabled 30 attackers before Migdanah was killed by arrows. And once Yehuda knew for certain that your mother Migdanah was dead, although he had 4 arrows in his back and many other injuries, he grabbed Migdanah's last scroll and made it to a lion of Zion's safe house. Yehuda did not go to the prearranged meeting place because he did not want to risk leading the attackers to you and the others. He was able to slip away from the attackers before arriving at the Lion of Zion's safe house, where after giving them the staff of Judah and the last scroll of Migdanah, he died. You, Sarah, are now the authorized scribe of the Lord and Lady. That is your apostleship. You and Miriam must depart very soon, which is why I have come to you first. Go to Miriam and prepare to depart with Yosef the Arimathea. Sarah, I told you that I had bad news, but that I would end on a positive note. I tell you now the good news. The first thing that I will do after these 4 days of appearances to my apostles will be to visit Migdanah and Yehuda in El Cush. That is where their souls have gone, and I will see them there soon. And when your work in this world is done, you will join Migdanah in El Cush. Yahshua then vanished. Even so, I always feel his presence, and though intellectually I understood the good news and realized that I would one day be reunited in El Cush with Migdanah, I spent that night in tears. The next morning, Miriam, pregnant with Yeshua's son, Gabiah, along with Joseph the Arimathea and myself, fled to Mount Carmel. From there, we would prepare for our long voyage to Gaul, and that's a part of what later was called France. She says here in verse 36, before I end this edition of the Holy Megillah Nasarean Bible of the Essene Way, I will share information on Miriam's remaining years in Gaul and how she came to be martyred. But first, I will report on some of the actions of the various apostles of the Lord Christ and Lady Christ, starting with a report on some of the apostolic assignments given when the Lord appeared to some in his etheric resurrection body. And I will also provide some of the writings of those apostles. For though Miriam and I soon left for Gaul, we maintained communication lines with Nasareans in many lands. I do not profess to know all of the important actions of the various apostles, but I will share some of what I do know. All right, and we're going to pick that up in the next video. It is where Sarah reports on Yahshua's appearances to the companions in his etheric resurrection body. Yes, and on some of the apostolic assignments that he gave them. So that's coming up next. Do that probably this weekend. Just want to thank you guys for being with me. Another good, juicy year. And let's just keep getting this good news out there, right? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching, guys.